Beautiful. Right.
All right, there we go. If we had to describe Juneteenth in 3 words, how would one do that? Could you do that? Can you do that?
I can try. It's energy. It's joy, like deep-rooted joy, and it's progress.
Absolutely. When you were describing all that and you mentioned joy, I was thinking liberation.
Yes, yeah.
Will, describe Juneteenth in 3 words, can you?
It's resilience. It's reconciliation. And again, finally.
Yeah, finally. It's a strong word.
It's a strong word, yeah.
It hits deep, makes you kind of stop and think. But with that, I think there's also, it kind of touches on progress, like what Nicole was saying, and new beginnings. And I think of a few words when I think of finally, too.
Rejuvenation.
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 Ooh, rejuvenation.
Yeah. Rejuvenation.
What about you, Kevin? Can you describe Juneteenth in 3 words?
Pain, acknowledging, the history, acknowledging some of the triumphs to get where we are now. I would also say empathy, right? We all want people just to hear us out, just listen to my pain, listen to my history, empathy. And then the third thing I would say, it's family. I think it represents an opportunity to just recognize who we are, recognize our bloodline, to recognize an opportunity to just celebrate each other.
Absolutely, I feel that. Feels like we're a little bit of a family. What does a Juneteenth feel like or smell like, or what memory does it invoke?
Juneteenth feels like summer camp in Chicago, growing up as a child in the inner city. It smelled like popcorn in summer camp, and it tasted like grape pop and all the things that children do during summer camp, but it was also the African American history. It was a strategic push when it came to educating us so that we would not forget the history.
Nice.
So.
I think back to some of the recipes that have been passed down over the years in the family. It smells like banana pudding in the oven. Not the cold banana pudding, but banana pudding in the oven with the meringue and baked, and you couldn't touch it until it cooled down so you didn't burn your mouth. It smells like love.
Love that. Nicole, what do you think? What does Juneteenth smell like, feel like?
Ooh, Juneteenth gives me that feeling of like the meal in church that you have in the basement of the church where all the grandmamas cooked. That's what it feels like. It tastes good. Feels like that good progress.
Good progress, yes. I'm tasting it, I'm feeling it, yes. Nicole, how can we encourage everyone to respectfully observe the holiday?
There's a lot of ways, but what really comes to mind is just support of Black businesses. Go out into the community and find your favorite Black business. It could be anything. It could be restaurants, clothing, bookstores. Educate yourself. Don't rely on others to educate you about it, but take the initiative and be really intentional about that, and make sure that you bring to the table something to the conversation. Come learn about a culture that you have no idea about. Talk to as many people as you can, right? Be cognizant of your community and build it. Build your community of all types of people, and make sure that, that intentionality around becoming more aware is really, really important, I think. Yeah.
Now we're going to take it to the workplace. Will, what are some ways that we can celebrate in the workplace?
Have conversations. Have conversations with people who are not like you. Find commonalities. Get an understanding as it particularly relates to Juneteenth. Try to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand their history, their lineage.
The intentional piece, I think, is extremely important in terms of making sure we're defining the culture that we want. You know, we have a culture within this organization, which we serve our members, but we also have cultures within our teams, within our business units. So, especially our leaders, and I'm not just talking entitled, but just weighing all of us have some type of leadership qualities in us. I think it's important that we all kind of set the tone of having some platforms to have these conversations, to learn more, and how do we even create a culture that it's safe, that it's comfortable to even learn more about our different cultures. And so I think a way to celebrate it is it starts way before the day of celebration.
Shelley, what do you teach your children specifically about Juneteenth, or what do you think that parents can teach their children about Juneteenth?
That's a great question. What I teach my children, or what I've taught them, they're adults now, what I've taught them is, again, the facts. And I had to also go back and find out, like, who were we before then? That can't be our only story. And so I did the research, and it speaks to resilience. So continue with that, knowing that this was not an easy road for those that came before us, but you have an opportunity. We've been given an opportunity, and so don't forget what has occurred, but move forward in a place of resilience because of what you know.
I mean, I think it's exactly what Shelley said. I don't know if I can put it any better than that.
Yeah.
But it's a couple of things. I think one, it's for our kids to understand that our history and our existence is not solely defined by trauma, but it's part of our DNA, and it's what helped us shape us into who we are.
The energy for me came from my daughter, who held a rally in 2020, Black Lives Matter movement, and she drew 5,500 people to Rockville, Maryland. People came from all over the state. When I think about it, I think about her speech, getting up in front of all those people and then leading them for miles in a march. Like, she just brought a whole level of education to me and my family that we just didn't have. And so I think about her, and I think about that progress.
What do you think are some ways we can continue celebrating Juneteenth and its legacy?
Yeah, I would say education. I would say making sure that we have opportunity to all learn about it. As we know, Juneteenth just became a formal holiday the last couple of years, so a lot of us, even myself being a black man in this country, I didn't know a lot about Juneteenth in my childhood, and so now it's about spreading the word that Juneteenth in a way is almost like our independence. It's almost like the second independence this country has had.
I agree with that. I can't wait for the day when we celebrate Juneteenth with the same vigor that we do 4th of July, right? Like everyone, not just Black people in America. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
I am too.
Yeah, I think this is the start. And I want to close us out just kind of touching on that and extending that a bit further by saying, you know, I think we're all teachers and learners and all the things, all the titles, you know. I think regardless of age and, you know, where one might have grown up or been born and raised, I think that we are all just kind of seeking out knowledge and providing those resources and, you know, just kind of coming back and sharing what we know. And I think that's really what it's about. And I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I want to thank you all for being here. Is there something that you think? He was like, felt like he was getting ready to.
I think that was an amen.
That was an amen. Yeah.
Yes.